Hey everybody, Spidey here with my buddy Manu, the one and only 9.9 Newsstand. We made it live, man. It happened.
We made it. We made it. Hello, everybody. Episode 8, minor technical difficulties, but it only
Yeah,
cost us a couple of minutes. We're here.
yeah. It's interesting. This has been a couple of times in a row. I'm like, am I a newbie at this all of a sudden? But at the moment of going live, I hit the power button on the computer, shut everything down, and then my main camera that normally
Literally.
normally used just stopped working. So now we're using this one, which is new to me. Hopefully it's not too different for you guys.
It looks cool. I like seeing the cap shield.
You do? Okay, well, we'll give a little glimpse because I got the decorations here, and then I've been resetting up the room, and what I was kind of hoping for people to see is behind me, which is see the Hall of Iron Men back there
Oh, yeah. Oh,
underneath
yeah.
the spawn. So fun stuff. Which was in view
Literally,
with the other camera.
literally at 7 o'clock, the power button was hit to shut everything down.
It was exactly a go time.
Card Freak, my friend, hello. I see you. You are in the building. How are you? Good evening. Thank
Yes.
you for joining us, my friend.
And look, I'm drinking heavy tonight.
We didn't get paid for that. What? I will promote store brand, whatever this is.
Whatever that is. I got a few of these. I got a few of those over here. No worries.
That's cool. That's
But
cool.
I was really sleepy all day, and I was like, I'm gonna have some caffeine right as we start the show.
Are you a
What's
Sprite
up,
fan? Like in
DS6?
terms of sodas,
Yeah.
Canada Dry, Sprite, what's your thing?
I never drink Sprite. I'm only doing this for
Okay.
the guests to keep the energy
Okay.
up. That's the
Got you.
only reason. I'm not
Got you.
anti Sprite, but here in the South, when you're sick, you drink Sprite. That's one of the things you do.
Yeah. No, that
So
makes sense. I mean, in India too, we used to if you had stomach trouble or if any of the animals on the farm had stomach trouble, we'd give them something called limca, and that's the Indian version of Sprite.
you're from Indiana?
In India. Is that the same thing you guys do in Indiana?
What's up, Just Collectibles? Newbie to
Just what's
Marvel
up?
card collecting. I've been on a binge and soaking up all the content. Oh well, that is awesome.
That
Hey,
is good.
and
That means he and I are learning together. Oh, we are actually recently connected on Instagram too. Hello, my friend.
so is the IG handle the same? Just
I
Collectibles.
I just know I know Just is part of it. Collectibles is probably part of it as well because Just is also his logo. If I remember correctly, it's JUS as his logo. And in his biography, I think he clarifies that Just is sort of like just. And I could just be making all this up, but I think I'm right about what I just said.
Well, I'm gonna take it as the gospel until he confirms otherwise.
Yeah, if he wants to argue, then we like arguing here. It's not an argument. I mean, if he wants to tell me I'm wrong, because only he
Yes,
knows what's right, I'm just assuming things.
that's right. Dan, it's good to see you here, man. And I need to follow Just. I need to look him up because I maybe I
Yeah,
am and I just don't realize it.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Card Freak's here for the
Justin,
long
yeah.
haul. Appreciate it, bud.
Good. I'm
Isn't
really happy to hear it, man.
okay. You know what? Someone just said, "Isn't Sprite caffeine free?"
What?
No
If
caffeine.
you're
This just
really,
ruined everything for me.
so you're just taking in chemically infused sugar. That's basically the candy that you
Yeah, I
told
know.
us you hated,
This
and you're
makes
drink. I'm
perfect sense.
sorry.
Makes
I'm
perfect sense.
sorry.
Yep.
That's
Somebody go
hilarious,
give me a
man.
Dr. Pepper.
Sending it
There was
right now.
no. All right.
Somebody
So here's the
DoorDash.
real reality is when I went to the fridge, I was looking for a Dr. Pepper, and there was Diet Root beer, there was Coke Zero, there was some kind of cranberry juice, and there was Sprite. And I was like,
Okay.
well, let's go with the Sprite. That's what happened.
I'm into it. I mean, I like Sprite, but I like that kind of stuff.
7 Up in his house.
7 Up's a winner. It's really hard to pick between the two. I can tell the difference, but it's hard to pick between the two. I mean, I can tell the difference in Coke and Pepsi too. Come on, man. I'm a pro when it comes to the chemicals.
All right. Yeah, you are. That's for sure. Just stick to the
Yeah.
candy and the Cokes. Don't go any deeper than that.
That's it. That's it.
So
That's it.
Just Collectible says Justin is a great name. And I have to agree. My name is Justin, for those who don't know. And here's the cool part about the name Justin. Do you know like a 75-year-old Justin?
I no, I know very few 75-year-olds, and I don't think I know any named Justin.
I mean, like, you know, a Charles, you know, a Robert, you know, a William,
Yeah,
you know.
William all day.
Yeah, but there's not a lot of like 1980 is when the name Justin re-entered, the scheme of names that people were selecting from. So most Justins, we're getting
Interesting.
older now. We're in our 40s and lower, but there's not a lot of older Justins.
It's not like an old school name. If I think about like old gangster movies and stuff, there's not too
Yeah,
many Justins out there.
yeah. Here comes Justin. This
Here
intimidating
comes,
name. He
yeah,
just
yeah.
strikes fear in the hearts of men. It's
So
soft
Just
target.
Collectibles name is most likely Justin as well, and that's why it
Uh,
works out so well.
yes.
Yeah.
Yep, no doubt. Hey, our buddy, Marvel Guy 239. What is up,
Marvel
Kent?
guy, what's going on?
Yeah. Oh, look,
Very cool.
Hulk collectors here. Dr. Pepper forever, no doubt, 100%.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm a huge Dr. Pepper fan. I love Dr. Pepper. You know what I go in and out of is root beer. Like I'm not the biggest root beer guy, but every now and then it's like I kind of feel like a root beer. Cream
Speaking of
soda.
root,
Oh,
cream soda's good, but speaking of root beer, I'm feeling a little belchy, so I apologize. Apparently, this is makes
it's carbonated, but it's not
very
caffeinated.
carbonated. What's up, Bryce?
This is
What is up?
great. Bryce, hello, Bryce. Hello. Whole collector. Hello, my friend.
Well, guys, our buddy Norn may drop in, may not. He is
He
he,
likes
he
to
is not
surprise us.
confirmed, so we just have to wait and see. Big Red here in the South. You know what I've never drank in my entire life is an energy drink.
Good. I'm actually opposed to those, even though I'm a supporter of chemical drinks. I think energy drinks are like they're over the top.
I
But
just never done it. It just never been an option for me.
did free energy inspire you to mention that?
No, he didn't. But how about that, sup boys? I like that.
Yeah.
No, I was just while we were talking about drinks that keep you up. Like that's my go-to is coffee typically, but I didn't want to
Yeah,
drink coffee this late.
coffee. I grew up
Well,
not being a coffee drinker, never thought I would. Now I'm 3 cups a day with the
mm.
coffee. Oh my gosh.
All right, we got Mr. Viking Sword in here and
Hello, hello.
Charles Fudge.
That's
Is it
not, is that how you say it? I want to say it another
It's
way
Viking
so
sword.
badly.
It's definitely a Viking sword. It's not Viking's word.
No, that I understand, but I just want to pronounce Charles' last name. Like I
Fooch?
just
You want to say Fooch?
no, no, it's not what I want to say. I want to
Fudge?
say the other thing. No. No.
He goes by many names. Mr. Stacking Gems is the one I prefer.
Oh, that is stacking gems. Yeah.
Yep.
See, I'm only just now getting accustomed to putting the real names with the handles that I'm used to. He just said it's Fuchs. It's not a CH sound. It's Fuchs. I like that. Charles
Yeah.
Fuchs. That's
Sure.
awesome.
Sure it is, Mr. Fudge.
Oh, he's laughing. Oh man, I don't know
There's no
what's
T
right
in
and
there.
what's wrong.
No T in there. So my grandma was a Fudge, if I remember correctly, before she became an Underwood.
And oh really?
Yep. But it has a
Oh.
T in it. So that's why I
Adam,
used to say
hello.
it.
Adam, what is your handle on Instagram? Since I know you now as Adam here, who are you on Instagram? And are we friends on
Yeah.
Instagram?
We got RH Midwest Comics. Good to see you again.
Yes, hello.
PS Collectibles in the Philippines. Love that you're watching from the Philippines. What time is it there? I'm curious.
I'm sure Card Freak meant stop fooking. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
I see
For
it. He
fuck's
said
sake,
stop
they're all
fooking around. For
having a
fuck's
good
sake.
time now.
Charles, you brought the energy today, Charles. I
He does.
appreciate that. Look what you've done here. You've lit up
Yeah.
the whole place.
To think I didn't even need this non-caffeinated Sprite here to get some
Right? We
energy.
just exactly. We need a little bit of fun in the chat, and
You know
we've
what
got
is
it.
bringing the energy? Let me not knock everything over. Yes, my shirt.
Yes, come on. Let's talk. Look at that. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh,
no.
dude, I'm such a huge fan of that shirt. The colors, that's a Bagley Venom, right? That's Bagley 90s
Bagley
Venom.
Venom.
Oh,
I saw it and I was like, well, I got to buy this for Manu. I gotta
huge,
wear it.
huge fan. Last week I had the Venom. It's hanging up this week, right?
Yeah, see it?
I love it. I love
It
it.
is
So,
awesome.
I gotta go pick that shirt up. That shirt's incredible.
It's Target. Target is just got
Tar-
great selection when it comes to Marvel clothes.
They really do. You
So,
didn't get that Marvel hoodie in yet, did you? No, you just ordered that over the
no, I
weekend.
would be wearing it
Okay.
tonight. I need to confess another thing. I
What?
also told you that we might open up a single pack of 1996 Marvel Masterpieces,
I know,
and
I got excited.
it did not come in today like I suspected.
It's okay. We'll
So
open
that'll
that
be
next time.
Saturday. Saturday
Oh, you're gonna
morning.
open that Saturday. I will tune in then. I will still
Yeah.
be a part of that
M-
opening. Yes.
More than likely, that's when I open it, Saturday morning. And I will be late to the Saturday morning Marvel cards this weekend. I've got a early engagement, and then I'll run straight home and start that up probably around 10:30, 11 Central Standard Time.
Okay. Okay.
A-
Good for
Adam does,
everybody to know.
yeah, Adam does not have an Instagram.
But he watches every Tuesday, Adam. I appreciate it. Justin appreciates it.
Yep.
We really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sin City
Yeah.
Cards, what's up, my friend?
Hey,
Uh,
what's going on?
yeah, Fooch needs to update his Marvel swag.
Matthew said my
What
what
if
if Venom came in today that you showed me. Which one was the what if Venom?
is he talking to me or you?
I don't know.
Oh wait, he's talking to me. Matthew Pearson goes by a different name on IG. I bet I know who that is.
Okay.
Yep, that's cool. He was asking me which cards should he get into first, and he had to narrow down his characters. Destructive Collectors. How's it going?
Hey, what's going on? Oh, I also last week I mentioned that there was a friend in the community on Instagram that
Mm-hmm.
gifted me some sketch cards. And this is months and months and months and months ago out of the kindness of his heart. You know, we connected on Instagram, and somebody in the chat was kind enough to say the name was Dom's Masterpieces. That is the Instagram handle, and that is absolutely correct. I checked it out. So Dom, if you're in here, hello. If you're not, hello. I appreciate you. I love you. And everyone should know Dom's Masterpieces, DOM, like
Mm-hmm.
Mary. And really great guy, really great collection. And these are the cards he gave me.
Those are sketch cards.
They're sketch cards. This is like done after that Venom with the
Yeah,
same
like the Joe
background and the
Gisco
same pose.
Venom.
Exactly. So that's done after that. And then the other one is,
Wow.
let me take this other one out
Did
for
you
us
show that
really
last
quickly.
week? And I'm just
No,
didn't remember. Okay.
no, I just took it out of the box this week. I just remembered I definitely want to show these. They're the only sketch cards I own, and they were given as a gift. They're very special
Yeah.
to me. And here's the other one. Both of them are Black Suit Spidey.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow. I bet Naj is jealous.
And I don't even think I've shown her. I gotta show her.
Yeah, that one's sick right there. Yep. After the 92 Venom. Sure is.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this is my intro into sketch cards. They're thick.
So are those
They're
pack
awesome.
pulled or are those
How would I know? They actually say one of one on the back.
right?
It says 2014 Marvel Masterpieces. Is that a
Which is
giveaway?
really 2016.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Remember you telling the stories, the delays with the artwork. And if you search
Yep.
them on eBay, some have different dates on the back. So the listings will come out. You got to just be creative with your
You gotta
searches.
do 14, 15, and 16 when you're looking for 2016 Marvel Masterpieces.
It says, congratulations. You have received a hand-drawn one-of-one Marvel art sketch card. Enjoy your original sketch card.
All right, so
That's
let's
what
do
it
this.
says. Yeah.
Let's go back to the front. Is there an AP stamp that's on there?
What is an AP stamp?
Artist proof. It means that that
No.
artist who did the let's make this a little larger. I want to see it.
Yeah. So
There we
down
go.
there it says Marvel Masterpieces, of course.
Yeah, and that's normal. There's no AP stamp.
There's no
The
AP
other way
stamp,
you would
no.
check would be by going to the checklist and seeing if that artist was in the checklist.
Okay.
And after that, it gets difficult. You would need to ask the artist if that was a sketch that they submitted to Upper Deck to put into the Marvel Masterpiece product. You can buy pack pull blanks and have artists sketch them, and they will look like they came out of a pack, but they didn't.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Learning quite a lot, and I will continue my research on these cards. Then next week, I shall have an answer to whether these are pack pulled or drawn by request.
Yeah, Pops is impressed.
Well, he's the master when it comes to sketch cards. I'm still impressed by what he pulled off last week.
Yeah.
My goodness.
When I thought this was the sketch, the Venomized Gambit.
That was so, yeah, right there. Yeah, that was hilarious. It was so great that we were able to have just as an amazing reaction to what was behind it. Because what if we didn't like what was behind it and we blew the sticker all out of proportion and then, like, oh gosh.
Yes.
So that
And
was
I
good.
realized I started noticing Norton's face where he was like trying to remain impressed, but also not lose his clout amongst other people who,
Okay.
you know,
Okay. Yeah.
and I was like, okay, something's up here. Oh, okay, that's a sticker. But it was, I was showing y'all, not actually looking at it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Um,
And me, I don't know anything, so I was just happy to see. I noticed it was die cut, and I was like, that's an interesting card. Like, it's a
mhm.
card on a card. It's 3D. This card.
So Ranger says they're 12 hours ahead on Eastern Standard Time in the Philippines. All right,
Wow.
I'm not. That's
So
early in
good
the morning.
morning.
Yeah,
Yeah. Good
that's what
morning. 7:30 in the
11 a.m.
morning over there.
All right. Yeah, not Card Freaks. Right is a pack pulled blank, but it doesn't mean it came out of a pack. Um,
Hmm.
and
Wait, it would still be called a pack pulled blank though,
well,
because
I'm
the
just,
blank
just
came out of
it's
the
the same
pack.
type of blank that was used that went into the packs.
Understood. Okay.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what I mean.
Leon
Just
says, just
melted
mail
that.
them to me. Justin has my address.
All
I'm
right.
not gonna re-gift it just yet. No, just joking.
I want to. So, for those who don't know, I opened up 1990 uh, Impel Marvel Universe this past weekend, and it was a pretty rough box when it came to centering and hollows. Only got 2 hollows, and after I opened it, someone reached out to me and said, "Did you see the Marvel Girl PSA 10 that sold on eBay?" Um, and I had not, so I went and looked, and Manu, I showed you this, but I was really blown away at what this Marvel Girl sold for.
All right,
And I
let's
think
see
it
it.
shocked you as well, did it not?
Did you showed me this? I want to see. I need
I
a
did it.
refresher here.
I'm gonna remind you in just a minute. Uh, and I'm gonna share my screen. So give me just a moment to do
Norton
this.
might be lucky he's not here because I don't know if he wanted to have the conversation I was going to have today. I'm still going to have it.
So look at that. Marvel Girl sold for $1,825.
You did show me this. Yes, yes, yes.
And let's see if here we're gonna get a better view here. Give me 1 second, guys, because I want everyone to see it well. But I want to tell you something that somebody reached out to me in regards to this, what they said.
Okay.
Okay. So share screen and here. Okay.
That's
So you
right,
can
Kent.
see
I'm
it.
in the gray area. I live in the gray area, Kent.
So you can see it well, right?
Yeah.
It's a lovely card here.
Oh, can I
And
guess
I
what somebody pointed out? I want to look at Let me just stare at it. I'm waiting for it to catch up on the big screen. I'm going to make a guess. All right. Okay. All right. It's a little heavy on the right. I can notice that. It's way heavy on the bottom. So it's heavy right and heavy bottom. Okay. But that's not blaring. Like it could still be a 10 at that. I don't know. Let's go.
well, and it could be in the variants. It also could be the camera. The camera can be tricky. But to
Yeah.
sell for $1,825, supposedly the pop on this is 9, right? And the reason
I'm
that
going to say
this
something in a moment. Go ahead.
the reason that this card sold for the amount that it did, and I'm saying this because of what someone else said to me. I'm not saying that it should have, okay, but that it sold for this amount because it's a pop 9, and there are people battling for the PSA 10s to finish their sets. And two of the most rare pops is Marvel Girl and Red Skull. And someone who is pretty active in the Marvel community in terms of buying reached out to me and said, "Hey, did you see this sale?" And I said, "No." They showed it to me and they said, "Well, I never in my life thought I would have lost the auction at 1800."
Oh,
So
yeah.
they were the
Right.
bid at 1800. The auction
Wow.
finished at 1825.
Wow.
So is pop beginning to mean that much in the prices that Marvel cards is going for?
I mean, okay. Last year, I already thought pop was one of the most significant things ever. And then we started to see the pop increase. So people stopped talking about the pop for a while because it was getting like big for some of the cards that it wasn't so big for before. So people were avoiding that conversation, not to sort of
Mhm.
depreciate the value because the pop had increased. And in the span of a year, pop for some of these 90 MU cards has gone from 5 to 45 as the submissions from PSA started to come out. And so
Mhm.
people stopped talking about it a little bit, at least in my circle. So maybe that is coming back into play in a very big way. But then my question is Marvel Girls pop low because nobody grades that card, right? Like,
So
why? That's not a
who's
significant card.
excited about Marvel Girls? Is that what you're saying? Like
Yeah, and
they're
I'm out
going
of the
through
loop,
and they're
so
going,
maybe
who's going to
everyone's excited
sell? Who am
about
I
it.
going to submit? Marvel Girl's not
Yeah,
going to sell, so I'm not going to submit that
exactly.
one.
And
Well,
that's what I'm saying. I'm thinking maybe that they haven't been submitted, but the pop on that card can explode. That could easily become 110 pop, I think, if people start sending them in.
I I can tell you what I'm going to look through from this weekend. I'm
All
like
of your
at,
N90 MUs.
at that math, I'm like, do I rush it?
Dude, if they're really going to clock for that much money, yeah, you do rush it. You send that in at whatever tier they I mean, it's not like you could send that in the $30 tier because that's going to boost you out of that tier now because that's only applicable for what? They just raised it. We'll talk about that. PSA raised the value for the $30 tier after getting some backlash, and now it's $4.99 is the max value for that tier. But yesterday or 2 days ago, it was $2.99 or something like that. So that
Right.
wouldn't even fall into that category. You'd get upcharged, but they still might rush it. Oh, I guess you would have to rush it to get it back soon. You wouldn't be putting it in that tier anyway. My bad.
Yeah, it's just, but even still, it's like it makes you say, well, if you got a clean one, you might risk it, you know,
That's
be
interesting.
risky because maybe they're protecting the pop. That's always a thing. Let's see if I can zoom here. It's
I want to see if anybody in the comments section had anything to say about that. If you assign value to numbered cards, no. Yeah, absolutely. Deadpool deeds. Yeah, absolutely. Pop absolutely means something. Does it mean this much for this card? It's just an interesting sale. I can't be skeptical about all big sales. I hope this is legit, but if that's an $1,800 card, then then there's a lot more money to be extracted or value to be extracted from those boxes. I guess MU boxes, 90 MU is going to start selling for 2,500 a box again then.
I mean, I wouldn't think so, um, but that sells really high. And I'm looking through the pop here to show you how it compares to others. Okay, Captain America has 183, Spider
Because it's
Man
popular.
180, right? Let's
Hmm.
go through. Cyclops has 16, Marvel Girl 9. Let me do you the low ones. Quasar has 20,
Hmm.
Mr. Fantastic 38, Archangel 23. Just
Hmm.
so people have a reference, Wolverine 124.
Sin City,
Lockheed,
you're welcome. I'm glad I've not inspired, but I'm glad I've badly influenced you into the world of comic books. Sorry.
Lockheed has 13. There's something called a Spider-Man Diamond Preview that's only got one card graded.
Let's talk about that really quickly. So
Uh-huh.
Norn and I have spoken about this, and Norn didn't introduce me to those. I had seen them prior, but he's the one that educated me about them. And he actually did introduce me to a previews magazine that had those uncut sheets. And I went to eBay and bought some of them because I just wanted those uncut sheets that were included in the center of some of those older magazines from the 90s. And I
Mhm.
saw somebody selling a set on eBay for a large amount of money. I don't remember exactly. And they all had this blue diamond printed on the back of them. But Norton's the one that educated me. He said he cut those cards. Those cards never came individually cut. Somebody cut the sheet. So this is interesting to me, what you're pointing out to me. That means PSA did grade one of the cards that
He
somebody
did it
cut.
at a 9. Yeah.
Wow, that was a
Probably hit it
clean
for
cut.
edging.
My goodness.
All
Dang.
right. So the next one we're going to point out here, to me, is a really big deal. Cosmic Spider-Man,
Mm-hmm.
only 35 PSA 10 out of 527 graded.
That to me tells me because that is a popular card. So
Yes.
that
It's the
pop
box
being
art.
low, Yeah, so that pop being low is not because everybody in the world doesn't submit that card. That means that's actually a super tough grade, that particular card.
I mean, I would, if I had one that remotely looked centered, I'd send it. But
I got a few. If you want, if you think we should just send some that looks, I got a bunch of them actually.
well, I haven't hit one that was centered, and I've opened up 3 boxes and 2 tens.
I wonder if no, I would have sent them, right? If I thought they had a shot, I probably would have sent them. So you're right.
Probably. Doctor
Yeah.
Strange has 20 is a pop of 23. So that's pretty low for Doctor Strange. Another Wolverine has 145 PSA 10s.
So even from the small group of cards that you've already named and mentioned how many 10s there are, that theory that the popular ones get graded more is very clear here. Cosmic Spider-Man is an exception, of course. You can't argue that it's not that it's a popular card. We know it is. No one can argue that it's not. Marvel Girl, I firmly believe, and Marvel Guy, that's funny, we're talking about Marvel Girl, and Marvel Guy agrees with me here, that it's not submitted because nobody cared about that card. That is a dangerous card to be paying $2,000 for, because if we decided to start grading that card, that's the only reason there's 9 of them, because nobody cared. But now they're going to care with that price.
Okay, what about Captain Britain?
Who is Captain Britain?
Gingy Man's going to be upset.
But who is Captain Britain, right? There's no kids running around talking about Captain Britain.
Are you serious?
I don't know.
You're not serious, are you?
I didn't know. No, I don't know. I'm not familiar. No,
well,
I'm not familiar.
There's now more than one Captain Britain. You now have a female Captain Britain, and lots of kids are talking about her. Yeah.
No.
She was.
Well, I'm not a kid. I am a kid.
She's not only been. She's not only been. It's Peggy Carter as Captain America. She's not only been in the recent Disney Plus animated What If series. She was also in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness.
I should stop talking.
Yeah. But this Captain Britain is correct. But I'm bringing him up because he's only a pop 6 PSA 10.
Well,
pop 6.
Yeah.
Rogue, who everybody loves.
Because he's only oh shoot.
Everybody loves Rogue.
Yeah.
There's 18 of those.
Whoa, I'm surprised about that. Everybody does love Rogue. Sorry, Gingy Man.
Is he listening?
No, I don't know. I just got to apologize to the universe.
He should be asleep right now. He's over there with Naj.
That's right. Yeah, it's true. 5 something in the morning, 5:30 in the morning.
Cloak has a pop of PSA 10. Cloak's PSA 10 pop is 15. Electro is 13.
Hulk Collector said Psylocke is Captain Britain now. Is that what you just told me, Justin?
Psylocke, there is a connection between Psylocke and Captain Britain.
Wow.
Well, Psylocke is British, by the way, for those who don't know.
I didn't know that either.
Enchantress is a pop 20. Dormammu and the Leader are pop 19. Galactus, pop 12. High Evolutionary, pop 7. We were actually paying attention to the High Evolutionary when we were pulling because that's Billy's favorite, and they were all terrible. Red Skull, pop 10.
Okay.
Fool Killer. Fool Killer, pop 10. Nobody cares about him. But that kind of puts how difficult Red Skull is.
What do you mean? Are you serious when you say that?
Nobody cares about him.
I was just joking. I just didn't want to make it person.
47 total cards graded 10 or PSA 10. And let's finish this off.
Did we go over Moon Knight? What's the pop on Moon Knight?
Let's go back.
Lewis is asking. Is that Luis or Lewis? That's Lewis, right?
Somebody's asking about Moon Knight?
Yeah, just wants to know what the pop on Moon Knight is.
Give me a moment. I think it's early on in the beginning. Moon Knight is pop 107 PSA 10. 107.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I didn't say this earlier, but the regular Spider-Man, not Cosmic, is pop 60. Put it in perspective, Aunt May has pop 39.
My goodness. And I just, I'm being honest. I just want to be honest. Like, I've never heard Captain Britain mentioned. I'm just saying.
I know. I'm with you. You're not wrong.
Okay. Geez. Like,
X-Men,
I offended the whole world or something.
he came ready for a fight. That's what you
Yeah,
said.
yeah, I ruffle stuff.
Uh-huh. So in the verses, X-Men versus the Freedom Forces pops 7.
What's the
And
Amazing Fantasy card? The Amazing Fantasy 15. What's the pop on that? Because that card
okay,
is affordable, so affordable now. You could get one of those for $120.
there's 91 of them.
Okay, wow.
91. Here's what's crazy about that. There's 91 PSA 10 out of only 262 graded.
Oh my goodness, that one had a high 10 rate.
Very high.
Wow,
Must be an easy card to check centering on.
it must be.
AMS 129, which is a card I submitted and got a PSA 10, is got 103 out of 271.
And congrats on that.
Thank you. It's Jimin at about the same rate. Oh, real quick, while we're talking PSA, I got grades today on the 20 card submission, and I did really well. I don't want to ruin it,
Oh, really?
but yes, I'm very happy.
Cool. Very cool. When do we see those?
They ship today, so
Oh, you got the grades today. Gotcha.
I got the grades today, and they ship today. Yeah, if I had them with me right now, we'd be going through the grades for sure.
I love podcasts. Good evening.
All right, Stan Lee, the Stan Lee card, number 161. 1,321 of those cards have been graded.
Oh, I thought you were going to tell me that's how many 10s there
237
were.
are PSA 10s.
Man, like a year and a half ago, that was like 30.
That's definitely the most graded card.
Ranger says,
from this.
remember, that's PSA. Then you've got Beckett, CGS, CGC, MGC. I don't even know who MGC is. And Ranger, you're right. And that's something that a lot of times I do overlook. And what's so interesting about that statement is sometime yesterday, I was having a conversation about CGC, the census,
Mhm.
the pop for comic books. And I refer to everything as the census of CGC, never taking into account that there's also a CBCS census, and so that's a really good point, Ranger.
Who's
Very good
Captain
point.
Britain?
I still don't know. Psylocke. They only grade Captain Britain books at CBCS. Those actually don't get graded at CGC.
Oh, stop. We're going to get in trouble. Stop. We love Psylocke. Seriously, Psylocke.
I love Psylocke. I had no
He's
idea
amazing.
Psylocke was Captain Britain. No idea. I love Psylocke. But
We
again,
might have to do
I
some
don't think she
Marvel
was Captain
bios.
Britain. Yeah, I mean, I need to educate myself on a lot of things. Forest Moon, welcome.
Hey, Mr. Star Wars himself.
Yeah.
How is
I like
he
the vintage
enjoying
stuff.
how is he enjoying the new Star Wars show? I'd be curious.
I'm assuming he's loving it. We got to hear from him. Yeah.
Let's see recent bids. Okay,
Henry.
so Charles is asking questions about the Golden auction last night. Are you familiar?
What ended in Golden last night? I wasn't paying attention.
We'll run through it real quick. We won't belabor it, but can you see
we
that?
are talking 96 masterpiece tonight, fellas, friends, ladies and gentlemen. 96 masterpieces is being discussed this evening.
How do you zoom in on a page? It's control something.
Command plus.
Command plus. There we go. Is that better?
Yeah, I mean,
there we go. You see it all right?
Yeah, I can see it. I zoomed in. I'm in there.
All right. Okay, so we've got. I'll just run through these real quick. 2013 red Iron Man 7,200. I believe these are with buyer's premium. Green Storm 6,600.
Oh, I know I can see it. It's kind of small, but hit the grade for me too. When you say the name and the color, hit the grade too, please.
BGS 9, and then on the. Thank you for saying that, because on the 2015 Doctor Strange amazing card here, PSA 5.
Whoa.
PSA 5 sold for 5,400.
Wow.
We've got a 2013 Hulk. I love this Hulk. He's just raging. Red PSA 8.5 for 2,842. BGS 8 of the Iron Man here, the blue, 2,160. Green, beautiful 2013 Flair Retro Scarlet Witch BGS 9 sold for 9,600. Blue Doctor Strange sold for 2,400. I'm curious to put that in perspective. That's about so half of what the Green Strange sold for, but it was a 5 PSA 5.
Mm-hmm.
BGS 9 Green Emma Frost 7,800, and a PSA 8 red on red color match Thor sold for 2,400. Red BGS 8.5 had some terrible corners. I'm not going to zoom in here, but it was really bad. Sold for 5,700. To me, the card of the night, even though the price doesn't show it, which is the Green Surfer here, sold for 14,400 in a BGS 9. The red Spider-Man BGS 8 sold for 2,760. I actually tried to bid on this last night, but when it gets into extended bidding, it won't let you bid if you didn't bid earlier, and I didn't know that.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So you have to bid early to be included in the extended bidding.
Got it.
Blue Doctor Strange 1,926 BGS 8. Then you got a pair here, Scarlet Witch and Vision. Somebody thought they were being cute, putting them together. And an SGC 9 sold together for 1,320. And you have a green Cyclops, pretty cool card. BGS 9 sold for 7,200. You've got the weirdest rogue card ever, in my opinion. She's in some armor outfit, and
that's a rogue card.
That's a rogue card, yes. And it sold
I
for
can only tell because of the
7,200.
white patch on the hair. Wow.
That's it. An amazing Cyclops blue here, 1,140 at a BGS 9, BGS 8 blue Doctor Strange from 2013, 5,226. We've got a blue Thor from 2015, 1,680. Red Thor from 2013, BGS 8, 1,440. And then we have the red Captain America, and this is going to be a big card to talk about in a minute as well. So in a PSA 9, okay, that's one thing you haven't heard me say up to this point is a PSA 9. The red got $10,402, 4,000 away from what the Green Surfer got, which is just mind blowing to me. And for those who don't know, this is actually not Captain America as relates to Steve Rogers. This is Bucky as Captain America. This is what you call Bucky Cap. And you know that because of the uniform. So you're not even getting your quintessential Steve Rogers Captain America. You're getting Bucky Cap.
Wow.
You've got blue Thanos here, 2,881 at a BGS 9. You've got red Thor in a PSA 8 for 2,400. And the card of the evening was the Captain America Bucky Cap, BGS 9 green, $74,400.
A 9 out of 10, 75 grand.
75 grand, correct. A few more cards here. I got a story to tell with one of them. Love this Galactus. So you got Surfer in the background, 8.5 sold for 15,900. It outsold the Surfer at a better grade than the Galactus.
Wow.
Think about that. Galactus outsold Surfer, and the Surfer had a better grade.
Is there something about that Surfer that was off? Like if you were the buyer for that card and you were examining it, was there something about it that was a deterrent?
No, not that I can tell.
Dang, Marvel Marshall, what's going on?
And I will tell you this, Surfer is one of that. There's been quite a few buyers waiting for a Surfer to pop up. So I was pretty shocked that it went that low and lower than the Galactus. So I'm not sure. There's more to the story there, but I don't know what it is.
Okay. Oh, we still got more to report on. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna skip through this. She-Hulk. Why would anybody want that? Got green 6,000. I'm messing with somebody who's in the chat who won it.
Deadpool Deeds retracted his message, but I saw that message. I saw it, Deadpool Deeds.
All right, we're gonna zoom here because I want to point out a few more cards. We got a blue Surfer, sold for $2,640. We've got an out of 25 Alpha pattern royal foil of Spider-Man at a PSA 8, sold for $3,420. And we've got a full jambalaya set from 2018 Flair Ultra X-Men, sold for $6,100. Got Battle Spectre Gem PSA 9, Thor versus Iron Man for $1,080. We got a jambalaya here, PSA 9 of Spider-Man in the symbiote suit for $1,380. And buddy of mine won the red Captain America here, PSA 9, 1,800. Great card.
Comic book.
Skipping the comic books. We'll go back to it. Hey, look, it's Psylocke, green Psylocke here. Sold for $6,600.
What a smoking card.
It is. Green Doom, $10,200. I love this card so much.
Dope.
Another green Hulk, She-Hulk for $6,066. And then take a look at this. This is the Amazing Fantasy What If Spider-Man from 2016 Joe Jusko in a PSA 9. Sold for $6,000. Now, I will tell you, I made an offer on this card back in March. The seller got this from PSA. They privately messaged me and said, hey, would you like to buy it? And I said, yes, I'll offer you $5,000. They said, no, thanks. I slept on it about a week, came back and said, you know what? I really want this card. I'll offer you $7,500 for it. And they kindly, very kindly responded. My friend says that I can get double that at Golden. Sends it to Golden, and he got $6,000 even.
This sale happened yesterday?
Happened, yeah, when it ended, yeah, Monday night.
How come that story sounds so familiar to me, as if you told me that story or I heard that? Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so he would have got more dealing with you. He took his chances at auction, and the market
this story
is the
sounds
market.
familiar because I put it in our group text last night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
But yeah, so he missed out on $1,500, and I couldn't bid on it again because it was in extended bidding last night whenever I realized the Golden auction was ending. But I do love this card, and I hope I get a chance at it again in the future.
Cardboard After Dark said minus 20% fees. Golden hits the sellers for 20%.
Yeah, it is painful. Hey,
Dude.
CGC 5.0, Avengers 1, 6,120. In case you're wondering.
Huh? No, which one was it? Sorry, CGC
I was-
5. Oh, Oh, got you. Yeah.
I saw a comic book. I was trying to toss one your way.
Yeah. I react delayed. Yeah.
Other sales that were interesting: Green Magneto, 5,400, BGS 9. This one's really interesting to me. Black Panther, PSA 9, green, 2015, 9,932. Feels like a pretty decent deal. A sealed box of Flair Ultra Spider-Man, 5,100. And
Let's go ahead.
well, I'll just point this out because Spider-Man boxes are becoming available again that have PMGs in them like this one did. And look at what that sells for 5 years later.
That is pretty significant. Actually. That is pretty significant. I know
And that's
someone
down
that's
from
going to be set up.
7,000, which is what it was selling for.
Is that the height though? 7,000 was the height?
Site. Yeah, 7,000 was the
Okay.
height.
Marvel Guy says, no, the buyer pays the premium. So I'm just going to look into this because I know that I'm just going to look into it. That's interesting. So you buy a card and then you pay on top of it the premium, or what we were assuming is that the seller pays a fee, much like if you're selling at eBay or something like that.
Yes, but the math is the same because there's what the hammer price is and the final price. So the seller gets 100% of the hammer, but when you're bidding, you actually know what your premium is on top of that. So you're actually bidding the full amount you know you got to pay, which includes the premium that goes to Golden.
This price that we're announcing here, are these hammer
Includes the
prices
premium.
or paid price?
That includes the premium.
Got it. Okay.
That's why I started the conversation off with this final price with buyer's premium.
Got it. And that's why we're saying minus 20% because the hammer closed 20% and the hammer 20% less than what we're announcing here. I missed
Yeah.
that bit. I'm glad that I
So,
got that now. Cool.
so when
Thank
I
you.
say he got 6,000, well, no, he got 20% less than that actually.
Got it. But the buyer did in fact pay the
Correct.
6,000. Gotcha.
So here we're looking at a Robert Downey Jr. 2008 on card auto from the 2008 Rittenhouse Archives from the Iron Man the movie, and this sold for $8,100 at a PSA 8 with a 10 auto.
An 8 with the 10 auto. Wow.
Yeah, this is widely considered the most important autograph in Marvel. I don't think it'll go down in history as the most important, but it's up there because he doesn't
Robert Downey
sign.
Jr.'s? Okay.
He just doesn't sign much anymore. And when this came out, Marvel movies were not what they are now.
Wow.
Just so because it's noteworthy, 2015 Flair Retro factory sealed hobby box, $6,900.
My goodness, that's a shocker to me. I didn't expect that.
Of the 2015, well,
Yeah,
if you
I didn't know.
I was able to open one at Steve Aoki's house. If we did not hit anywhere
Whoa,
near 7,000,
that's kind of
and
cool though. That's a nice way to jump into that story.
yeah, that we did not get anywhere near $7,000 worth of cards.
Really? Okay.
Yep. But I wanted to go through those, and I wanted to tell that story about the what if Spider-Man. If here's what I would say to that. I'm happy the guy did what he wanted to do, and he, I would love to have seen him get more money because I would have been happy for him. But my advice would be, if a collector offers you a very, very fair price, you might consider making that sale happen. And rather than getting caught in what might be, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of put his fate in somebody else's hands. And to be fair, at the time, Golden was getting some pretty high dollars, and the market's taken quite a dip since then. Not to say that $6,000 is not a lot of money. It is, but I think now he's realizing, you know what, you'd have been a lot happier with that card. Not to say the person that got it isn't happy, and then he would have knew what he had in his hands, for sure,
Yeah.
instead of
Yeah.
risking it.
Well,
And by
I
the way, the
guess
7,500 would have been the highest price of that card by far at that point. When I offered it, it was not a
and so
sale
for
that was higher.
and so for you this worked out. I mean, it could have worked out better for the seller, but for you, you know, now you can get into the car cheaper if you wanted to.
Oh yeah, if a raw comes up, the PSA 9's a pop one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it put a ceiling on that card for a while.
Absolutely. That makes
Mhm.
sense. Absolutely.
I haven't been keeping up with the comments. How we doing here?
I've been trying to look through them. I've been trying to look through them and address a couple of key things, but
Charles,
there was something that my chat kind of froze, and I'm not exactly sure why. But there's something that Deadpool Deed said, and I was trying to find that. He said there's. Oh, I
let
guess you're
me.
talking about the count on the Spider-Man metal boxes, and it says there's 18,000 physical Spider-Man metal boxes. 71% of the print is allocated to e-pack, and I think there might be a bit of a debate going on here because Kent says where are you getting the 18K number? So I was just trying to keep up with that conversation, but I've definitely missed quite a
All right,
bit of it.
can we transition to that? Is there something you want to talk about? Because I really want to be in this conversation about.
No, let's transition to it. Yeah,
Okay, so here I have worked up the box odds
right.
and the count. So we don't know for sure. Let me start off with that. I will tell you that I have been in conversations, and I'm looking for this information so I can deliver to you guys as quickly as possible and as accurately as possible. And right now, from people who know, I'm getting mixed stuff. But the way the box is architect, you're supposed to get a number card in every box. A number card in every box. Well, the base set is going to be 1 to 200. 1 to 200. And each base card can have 100. We'll have 100 PMG, so that's 20,000. Then we got 200 one of ones. So that's 20,200. We're going to have 25 times 200 for the turquoise, 50 times 200 for the orange, and then 75 times 200 for the pinks, which is 5,000, 10,000, and 15,000. When you add all that up, it totals, assuming that those are the cards that are considered the number cards that the box owes you, will be 50,200 boxes total. 50,200 boxes total. If you take that math and then you apply what is going to be physical and what's going to be EPAC, everything I'm hearing, no matter who I'm talking to, whether it's well-informed collectors, whether it's industry insiders, or whether it's rumors from Upper Deck, 25 to 27% of the product is going to be physical. The rest is going to be EPAC.
Okay.
The rest is going to be EPAC. And so if you take 50,200 and let's see, 25% of that would be 12,550 boxes would be physical. And if you do 27%, it would be 13,554. So it doesn't quite get to the 18,000 physical number. And I wonder if that includes the retail packs, which are going to be six packs per box, blaster box, and somehow it's factored into that. And I don't know, but that's the numbers that I'm being told. And that's the math that I come up with on the number of boxes based on what a box owes you to work out the total number of the print run. And how does that compare to X-Men Metal? X-Men Metal had 35,000 boxes, and this would be 50,000 boxes.
Wow.
Okay.
So it doesn't quite get to but it doesn't quite get to that 18,000 number.
It doesn't, but that would tell me that's the max.
Yeah. Okay.
I actually think we're much more at risk at it being less than that. And trying to think of what I can share here and not share. Long story short, now I can't share that. Just know that to me, 18,000 is probably the max from what I'm being told.
Adam is asking, Justin, do you think box prices will continue to climb as things like PMGs become more common with releases every year or two? That's kind of an interesting question.
I do like that question. Is it right here from Adam?
It is, yeah. Adam M. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, the more you have of something, the less it's worth. That's a general rule of thumb that's really good to live by. I think what that ultimately means as something's printed more and it quote creates it dilutes, it actually elevates the original PMGs and puts them in a different class. And you can see that in the sports world with sports cards. I don't even have to give a lot of commentary around that to prove it. It just makes those originals stand out above the rest.
Yeah.
So I think that the newer inserts will be less and less valuable. They'll probably have a range that they can live in, and the old stuff will be worth more and more. I will say that Upper Deck has a desire to protect those inserts by not delivering them as often, meaning that they're only wanting to keep it in the metal product, is what I'm being told.
Oh,
but there will be a Wolverine metal coming out.
Yeah, but when you say keep it in the metal product, like, you mean there was a time where we assumed that PMGs would be an insert in some other sort of release?
Yeah, the first time a PMG has ever been in a metal product for Marvel was X-Men metal, and now will be Spider-Man metal. Before it was Flair Ultra Retro 2015 and 13, and then Flair Ultra Spider-Man and Flair Ultra X-Men.
Oh, yeah.
So now we have a new Flair Ultra set coming out, and it will not have PMGs. They have something called medallions, which to me is just basically a replacement.
Okay. I was just trying to keep up with the chat here. Sydney says the conversation started because you were comparing the 2017 box with the metal boxes, Justin. I was just saying there will be a lot more metal boxes available than the 2017 Flair Ultra Spider-Man. More metal.
I don't know what the box print run was for 2017.
I just want to say it says 2017 FUSM, FUSM, but because of you fine friends, I knew that was Flair Ultra Spider-Man. A week ago, I would have said FUSM.
What's he fussing them about?
Yeah, exactly. That's fantastic. I feel good about things.
So, how do you guys feel about the new Marvel Beginning set this year? Worth chasing, or would you put your money into different sets right now? Look, I like Marvel Beginnings because its price point has been around $100 going into the initial release, and as long as it stays that low, I'm going to have fun with it. It's a big set. It's going to have a high print run. It may end up in retail. I haven't heard that for sure, but I wouldn't be surprised. It will have special cards in them. They will be very difficult to hit.
Okay. I don't think I've seen anything. I didn't know there was a new beginning set, but I like that set because I
It
like when
it
it.
it will have really important cards in them, and they're going to have variants. Well, let me back up a little bit. They announced that they're going to be Easter eggs in both Spider-Man Metal and Marvel Beginnings. I'm going to go ahead and go out on the limb and say what that means is they're going to have variants, and the variants will be based on whether it was in retail, hobby box, or e-pack, and it might be like the back of the card was different.
Mm,
It won't be a parallel; it'll be a variant. I think that's what's going to be in there. So why do I say that? That stuff's fun. It's not valuable, but it's fun.
got it. You know, earlier,
Mhm.
maybe like 15 minutes ago, when I said, we are going to talk about 96 masterpieces tonight,
Yeah.
I Love Podcast said, don't talk about that set, and did one of these emojis.
Which ones? Oh, he doesn't. Why doesn't he want us to talk about it?
I don't know. Maybe he
Huh.
knows something.
Hold on.
Maybe
I
Marvel
love
Podcast.
podcasts.
Yeah.
Why not? I love podcasts. It's a
Yes.
wonderful set.
Yeah. Let us
It's not a
know
secret
really
either.
quickly why we shouldn't talk about it, because I'm
Yeah.
curious to know if we're not talking about it for the reason that I want to talk about it.
We're going to talk about it, my friend.
What I would like to do is just lay out what I was observing and what I thought might be possibly going on. And then I just want some conversation about it, have some questions. It's not like we're ever going to be able to have the exact answers because we're not speaking to the people responsible for executing that auction or paying for it or anything, but I've got some questions, man.
What are we looking at, Manu?
Oh, we've got it pulled up. Okay, so let's talk about this really quickly. So when was this, last night or the night before
Uh,
these ended?
I don't know. Night before?
Whatever. For the sake of this conversation, we're going to say it was last
June
night. It might
5th.
have been
It was Sunday night.
2 nights ago. Okay. And so these 1996 PSA 10 auctions were going to end. And I was watching them closely because I wanted to get that Venom one.
Mhm.
Now, prior to deciding how much I was going to bid or what I was going to do, I just did what I would normally do. I looked at the sales history of 96 10s, recent histories, and there were some nice numbers. Some of the popular cards were going close to 1,500, and some of them were ending $600, $700. It made sense to me. And
Mhm.
then I took a look at what was available. Well, this is the only PSA 10 Venom that was available. Each of these were the only ones available of these cards, but I had no interest in the other ones. I only wanted that Venom one. That has nothing to do with the rest of the story. That's just why I was paying attention. And so I thought, okay, there's a possibility that these could end higher than the other ones have recently, other popular characters. So I'm
Mhm.
prepared to lose this auction that has nothing to do with anything either. But then I started paying attention to the bid history prior to actually getting in there. And I'm
You got a
sorry,
ghost?
I I feel like there's a sorry. And then and somebody doesn't want me to say what I'm, no, just joking. Um, And so I started looking at the bidding, and there were private listings. Now, I want to also preface this by saying I don't know the seller. These could all be super legitimate sales, and I should be proud to see them. I love when our favorite cards do so well on the market.
Mhm.
It's in my nature to do a little bit of digging when something feels a little odd. And that's all I'm doing here is a little digging. This is not to prove that I'm right or to be proven wrong. It's just to say this was a little strange. And so when I looked at the bid histories, I noticed that all four of these listings were private auctions. Now, a lot of buyers never look into the bidding and they don't even know that there's a thing that's a private auction. I've never done one. so I couldn't tell you what button to press to make an auction private or what have you. But you can't see who's bidding, you can't see anything. It just says private, right?
Hmm.
Because normally in an auction, eBay does scramble the user's handle, but it does show you in parentheses their feedback. So you can always sort of figure out who it is if you know the community or if you come across that feedback number again, or so on and so forth, right? It's not completely invisible. But when it's a private auction, it's completely invisible. You have no idea who's bidding. Now, when there's big things coming to auction and it's private, truth be told, it just seems bad. It just
Mm.
already has the optics of something that someone's trying to keep a secret. Because honestly, like just if someone can, no one's ever been able to give me a good answer as to what is the point of doing a private bidding. Someone has said to keep the buyers anonymous. What are they buying? Cocaine? It's cards. You're all you're doing is making it look suspicious. So that was the first thing. Why are these private? And then I took a look at the seller's other items that had sold. They were much smaller cards, but they were not private. So he or she was cognizant of the fact that this is a larger item. I'm going to make this a private listing. All four of them. And then I saw the first one to end, which was the Iron Man,
Iron
and it
Man.
ended for yeah, and it's a Canadian auction, but the U.S. equivalent for the price it closed at, oh, there it is, there, $2,430. That's a lot for that card, man, and that's fine. I was happy to see it. When I saw that, I thought, well,
Marvel
definitely
Girl
not.
went for 1,825.
And that's true. And at the time that I was watching this, I had no idea of that. So my perspective wasn't altered by that sale, right? I was
Right.
just watching this after doing my research of the previous closes on PSA 10s for 96, and this was $1,000 above anything else that had closed recently.
Yeah, the
And so,
Cyclops went for 1,200, I believe.
yeah, and that's
Yeah,
supposed to be a pretty popular card. So
and yeah, and lower pop too as well.
right, and so those are the things that I was factoring in, and then I thought, well, I'm definitely not going to win this Venom card. But then I saw the Venom card in the final seconds just go. I mean, with 3 minutes left, it was at $329. Now that's not uncommon for all of the action to happen at the end. Any smart
Right.
bidders are bidding at the end anyway, because there's no reason to bid early. You're just telling the world there's more interest, and that's not a smart
Mhm.
thing to do if you want to buy the card. So
Right.
I don't know why people do that anyway. But then that one ended for well over what I was trying to get it for, and that's fine. But then I saw the other cards end for the same exact price as the Venom card, and they all have
Mm.
different numbers of bids. There's like 23 bids, 25 bids, and 45 bids, but somebody at the end put the same amount in all of them. But the Iron Man one ended for more, which in my head, just being suspicious, not calling, I just want the community, all of my friends here to see where I was coming from, or where I'm still coming from, is I feel like that just felt the numbers being so high, three of them being the exact same price, and the auctions being private. Those are three factors that for me just made me uncomfortable with the situation, made me think this is weird. Plus, if you look at the 1996 Masterpiece PSA 10s that were available that day for buy it now, they were all $1,000 less than these ending prices, and one of the Carnage cards is available for 1,300 bucks, and that is a hugely significant, very hard to get pop for. There's less of
Mm.
those in this Venom card, and it's arguably a cooler card, but it just depends on what side of this you're on, Venom or Carnage. But they have a lot of the same fans, right? But Carnage is newly more popular than he used to be, but still, that's up there for 1,300 buy it now, and that didn't get snatched up. And these things are doing 2,500 and 2,100 consistently in a row, 4 auctions. It just doesn't seem natural, and it seems weird. And then somebody said to me, I spoke to a few people that I respect in the community whose names shall remain, secret, because there's because I don't know what's happening yet. And everyone said the same thing, because no one can not say this. They're all like, yeah, seems a little weird, but everything was, yeah, seems weird, but, and the but was always the same. The but was always, these are popular and it's getting attention and this is feasible, this is plausible. It is. If a card's been selling for 1,200 and then it sells for 2,000, that's totally plausible. That's not out of this world. That's just a couple $100 more. It's fine.
Mhm.
But the rest of the things made it weird. And then somebody said, someone whose opinion I really respect said, there's not really any point in shilling, these cards. There's not that many of them. I
Right.
understand it. I understand that argument, but that's not necessarily the only point to shill these cards, or whatever that word means, because let's say now I'm doing the whole conspiracy thing, but let's just go ahead and have fun. This is all made up, what I'm about to say. Let's say the owner of these cards never intends to sell these cards. Let's say these cert numbers will never see the light of day again. So it's fine that they don't get paid for it because they're not going to get relisted. No one's going to be the wiser, and it's going to establish the market. And there are 100 cards in the set or whatever it is, 60, 70, 100, I don't remember, 90 cards, I don't remember. But whatever it is, there's plenty of other masterpieces to appreciate because of
100
this.
cards in the set.
100 cards in the set. So there's
Not
plenty of
counting
cards.
inserts.
Not counting inserts. So there's plenty of benefit to advancing the market for this, even if you're not shilling one particular card out of the set. Because what did they say? A rising tide raises all ships or something of that sort. But you know what I'm saying? This
Yes, but can we not use that on cards anymore?
Oh, is that a thing that everyone does? Sorry.
Well, that.
But
not my
yeah,
favorite
we could.
segment.
Yeah, no. And so that's all. So it's like there's plenty of reason to heighten the market on a set like this. And there are too many suspicious things that went on here for me to just let it go. I'm not saying this isn't legit. It could very well be, but I don't think it's worth just dismissing. Somebody tell me what's the point of having a private auction? Now I've talked for 100 minutes now. Maybe someone in the comments had something to say about this. I would love to know what some of the opinions are. Justin, I would love to know some of yours.
Well, the private auction thing seems like more of a fluke because this person made it public in the places that matter. And they
made what public?
The fact that they were the ones selling it.
That's not what I'm talking about. We know who's selling it. That's fine. We're not seeing who's participating in the auction. We're not seeing if somebody's actually shilling it because it all says private. It's not to protect the person selling the car.
I got you. Okay, I see what you're saying. I have that's definitely not a good look. I did talk to the seller for what it's worth. I reached out to the seller and congratulated him on the sale, and they confirmed that there were two buyers and that they did pay. And he felt that the number, like the bids ending at a very specific number on each one, was more indicative of where the two bidders had placed their bids. Like they both put in whatever their max was, and it was the same for each card. And that's why it ended that way.
And that makes sense.
And he thought that the Canadian currency exchange also maybe added to why it's like an odd number, $2,112.06. But either way, he was like, hey, I'm happy they sold. I believed in these cards. I bought them. I curated them and made sure that I had, really clean cards when I submitted them, and they did well. And he was happy. And he was happy to share it with me. And he said, it's public. Like it's fine. You can share it.
Oh, good.
Very cool. Does that discount anything you said? Does that validate anything? Like, does it mean it's not something? What we do know is anytime you're thinking through a comparable analysis, you don't only use the highest sale as a matter of determining a value of something. You want to use 3 like sales with the same market conditions. And when you have other cards that are for sale right now at half the price, you very much have to take that in consideration. The fact that if you were to sell your cards today, you likely wouldn't get this much. And if you're buying, you probably don't want to be paying this much.
Yeah, smart shopper should definitely be taking that into consideration. Absolutely. Much like I did while I was watching these auctions, why these struck me as very weird.
But what Sydney says here, it may be true. I suspect the private auction gets more bidders.
No, because maybe, but everybody that I know is turned off by that. So I'm going to make the counter argument to that.
And I'm not, I think I've sold 5 things on eBay, so I'm no eBay selling expert here. Okay.
No, I understand, but and that could be true. There might be people that, participate in these high dollar auctions, and they're inclined to participate if it is private because they don't want someone knowing what cards they're buying, adding to their collection. I get that. But is that really the thinking that somebody that doesn't sell that much on eBay or doesn't have much of a presence in the card community put into when they decided to make that private? It seems like a bit of an advanced logic for someone that doesn't seem to have much of an advanced presence in the card community. Now I'm making a lot of assumptions, and my assumption is based off of me doing a little bit of poking around on Instagram and stuff like that. But I'm not in the Facebook community of cards at all. So I don't know how much conversation was had about those cards
Hmm.
prior to me becoming privy to the listings. You know,
It's a
um,
beautiful card.
it's such a sick card. Like I was willing to go up to $1,000, and even then I knew I was gonna lose it because I was like, this card's $1,500. So I know I'm not gonna win it, but I might as well get in here anyway.
Yeah. What an amazing card. I love it.
Logan said, I know some large buyers have asked me for private listing because they are in groups online where others know their handles on eBay and they don't want people to know they're bidding to get bid up. Logan, that makes a lot of sense. And it's a very interesting world, I guess, once you get tied into that. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And you know what? Logan, that's really smart because still in Marvel cards and other like niches and collectibles, it is a small community. It still is. And people know, and if they find out what you're hunting, they will make you pay. They'll buy stuff that they know you're trying to buy so that they can keep you from getting it. Especially with set collectors who are trying to build a perfect PSA 10 registry.
Sydney said Justin can ask the person why they made
That's
it private.
true. If only I was a true investigative journalist, I would have
Or
thought to
if
ask
only
that
you were like
question.
me and didn't care about losing friends, I'd ask them. I'd be like, hey,
Here's the
guy,
thing.
what'd you do that for?
It's a wonder, as busy as I've been, that I even had time to ask today, but I knew that we were going to talk about this tonight.
I'm
And so I
glad you
was like,
did.
let me ask.
I'm glad you did. And I don't know. This is just in my nature to make sure that I have clarity on what's going on. And when something is a bit sort of weird, it's just in my nature. Again, I'm happy to see these sales. I love it. I own some 96 masterpiece stuff.
Mhm.
I like this. This is great action. I love prices going up. I love it. I just don't like private listings. When a seller private listed a book for me, it was because he had other copies listed at higher values and didn't want to tank the sold market. That has nothing to do with uh, that. What? Free energy. I'm sorry. What?
When a seller private listed a book for me, it was because he had other copies listed at higher values and didn't want to take the sold market of that book. I think that he's not talking about eBay. I think maybe he's talking about somewhere else because you
Because
don't
the
hide
sold
the
price is still a sold price. Yeah.
because he gave me a super. I think he's talking about the way he got a private sale. He got it. He got the book cheap, so he didn't make it public what it sold for. I think he's talking about something different.
Oh, he's talking about an actual private sale, like,
Yeah.
when you're communicating with someone off of the
Yeah. A
platform,
listing that
unrecorded.
wasn't named.
Yeah.
A listing that wasn't named.
Hey, Sydney, I'll still buy the set from you. He said, I've got a 96 set. I doubt there's any 10s in there. I'll still buy it. What do you want for it? I'll give you $1,000. Is that cool with you?
3,200. That's what he wants.
No, stop. Stop.
Okay. So I haven't wanted to do this, but people are asking in the chats about Spider-Man metal and when are we going to get them? Tort says, love Tort. When are my
Sydney, I know
50
you did. I was
Spider-Man
just
metal
teasing.
boxes getting shipped? And Kent said what we're all saying. Hopefully June 29th this month. Hopefully June 29th. That is still what
Woo-hoo.
David Adams says. And I will tell you that in the last 2 days, I have not heard anything encouraging that would have me believe that we're going to be getting them on June 29th. I'm still holding out hope that we're going to get them on June 29th. But one of the telltale signs is COMC, who house the EPAC for Upper Deck. They actually received their allotment of cards prior to us receiving our hobby boxes, our physical product. And then they spend the next 3 months scanning and tagging all of these cards to get them ready for EPAC release. They haven't even heard a sniff of when they're going to get Spider-Man metal. And so that has not happened yet. And that would normally be a telltale sign of when we're getting it. So not encouraging news. It doesn't mean we're not going to be getting it. I'm still working on getting some more detailed information. But I don't have warm and fuzzies right now when it comes to knowing that I'm going to have Spider-Man metal in my hand at the end of June.
Someone asked that?
Yeah. Up before we got started on the eBay.
Sydney, I know you paid more than I've sold sets for more than that. I was just teasing. If you did want to sell me a set for 1,000, obviously I would send you 1,000, but I was just teasing. I've sold sets for more than that. It's not an advisable thing to do to sell a set of that for $1,000.
Oh, that's all right. Charles Fuchs.
Yeah.
Charles Stacking Gems. Let's just stick with Stacking Gems. Stacking
right.
Gems says that 1995 metal is greater than 1996 metal. Are you familiar with 95 well enough to argue that out?
Me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm not gonna argue that out because my personal preference is I like 96. That's a personal. There's nothing to argue there. This is a personal preference thing. I think 96 masterpieces is better than 95 flair just because I just like it a little bit more. But that's only a personal thing. The 95 metal is a more youthful set, a more colorful set, a shinier set, and all of those things, right? And masterpieces is a little bit more adult, a little bit more mature. Like, look at the Venom. The Venom looks like some sophisticated painting of a Venom, So it's just different, and it's one of the only sets that kind of feels that way to me.
Okay, if you're going to use Venom as your argument, then we've got to pull up the Venoms for 95 Marvel masterpieces.
What set has the Venom Punisher with a bunch of guns?
That's metal.
That's 95 metal, right?
Yeah, we're saying 95 Marvel masterpieces.
No, he's saying 95 metal versus 96 masterpieces.
Did he really?
Yeah. That's why it's
like,
well,
yeah, he's right about that too.
You just like to accept the origin of metal. Yeah.
No, I thought he was talking about 96 Marvel masterpieces. Now I misread that. My apologies.
He's comparing 95 metal with 96 masterpieces.
Because there's some sick Venoms in 1995.
Sydney says masterpieces is infinitely better. Ooh, them's fighting words. That's what I came here for.
Infinitely?
Infinitely. He said there's no argument at all. 95 hollow flash. Oh, the hollow flashes are so beautiful. Cardboard After Dark. So the hollow flashes came out of the 95 metal set.
They came out of 95 Marvel masterpieces, which is what I misread.
Okay.
Stacking Gems comment there. My apologies. But I was making the argument, or I was wanting you to give a defense in comparison to the 95 Marvel masterpieces, because look at this.
Let's see it. And Venom in the Rain and 95 metal, though, which one? That's a masterpieces. That's a sick card. That's an incredible card. Incredible card. Incredible card.
And then you have the hollow flash, which I'll show as well.
Swish Rips, what's going on? I wish everybody in the chat can speak. I wish we were in 100-person group conversation.
That would I don't know that I want that. That's the hollow flash.
I love that card. Oh my gosh. And the Carnage hollow flash is so crazy too.
The Carnage is even better.
Oh, how these get me excited, man. Like, I don't know nothing. Oh, these get me excited. This is what I'm talking about.
And then we'll show what Charles is talking about. Venom in the Rain, as he said.
Which one is that? Yeah, let me see. Is that the one where his back's all big and out and his head's kind of forward?
Let me get to it here. Well, this is the Silver Flasher version. He may not.
Who said I like to cause problems? I saw something and then I lost it. Dang it. Oh, Charles said I like to cause problems and arguments. That's the fun stuff, Charles. I appreciate it. That card's all right, man. I don't know who.
That's the Silver Flasher. It's not the regular base, but I think that's the one he's talking about.
Yeah. Did he say he loved it, or was he making fun of it? I forgot. I want to see.
I think he was saying it makes it better than 1996 Marvel masterpieces.
Nah.
All right. Here's something for people to
personal
make
opinion,
sure they know. Opinion. Now, this is a base card that I'm about to show you, but it actually pairs with the hollow flash of Venom. You recognize that?
I know
It's
that
the
card.
same. So Venom is coming down the walls. Carnage is going up the walls, and it's the
Oh
same
wow,
scene.
I
But
didn't know
that's the
that.
base, and the Venom is the Hollow Flash. And the artist,
Wow.
I actually heard the artist confirm that this is actually the case.
Okay, I never put that together. This card, just funny story, always disturbed me a little. It's so twisted. It's so like demented looking. It's actually terrifying, right? Like the
Yeah,
scene and the way Carnage looks. I was
yeah,
I've always been hesitant about that card. Like, what kind of energy is this card giving me right now?
right. So so you can see now that you know, you can see
Yeah,
it, right?
yeah, I can. There's the red brick,
Hmm.
and it's designed in that distorted, twisted sort of way as well.
Exactly. Yep.
It definitely gives you that feeling. Wow, these are done incredibly well.
Yeah, and so 95 Marvel masterpieces, you have the base set, and then you have the emotions, which is a parallel to the base set, and you get three versions of each character painted by a different artist, but it's four total artists, so it mixes up between each character. And then you get the hollow flashes, and then you get the mirages, which are even more difficult to hit. So you get a nice set of inserts to go with it. Where 96 has no parallel to the base card, just the base card.
Mm, that's a good point.
Mhm.
I do want to keep talking about these, but I want to answer Viking Sword's question real quick.
Yeah,
Something
which
we
one's
talk
that?
about often here. It says, I want to get an Ultimate Fallout 4. Do I get a first printing, a second printing, 9.6, 9.8, etc., etc.?
Mhm.
Etc. is weird because it should be etc., but everyone says etc., but it's etc. Anyway, I digress.
Is
Um,
that relevant or irrelevant or
what the etc thing?
no, no,
It's
no?
irrelevant
Well, I
completely.
mean, irrelevant is it's not relevant. It's not
Oh,
irrelevant.
you know what? I was actually gonna, I was actually gonna pick on you a little bit earlier, but I'm not gonna do it live. I'm just
Okay,
gonna do it.
thank you. I appreciate
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, so Ultimate
it. Well, let me whip out my high school diploma. Come on, man.
No, no, it's just funny because I literally said something about it yesterday, and then
Uh-huh.
you
I
popped it
did. I
out of me
did.
today. I was like, oh gosh. Okay, so Viking Sword. One thing that's really important here is what's your budget? You know, because if you're
Mm,
talking first print 9.8 versus second print 9.8, we're talking a difference of $2,000. So that's important to know.
mhm,
Ideally, if your budget is if you can buy any one of them that you want, you would want the first print in a 9.8. Now, I'm not talking about the 30 and $40,000 variants. Forget about those ones. I'm talking about the ones that you know hardworking folks can go out and get if they wanted to. Um, a 9.8 first print is the ideal way to invest in that
mhm,
particular Miles Morales book. But if that's a little out of someone's price range, the second print is a very desirable book. And I say it all the time, and I firmly believe it. I do believe it's still undervalued, even as an $800 9.8. It is the same cover as the first print, except it shows Miles's face, which is
mhm,
kind of awesome, and it's lower printed than the first print, which is also pretty significant. So over time, it's probably going to appreciate. I don't know that it will catch up because the first print has, the aura of being the first print. So it's always going to be that. But the second print has a huge amount of potential. And during the market's peak last year or late 2020, I think it was early last year, that book started selling second print 9.8, second print 9.8 started selling for about $1,400. And we haven't revisited those highs yet, but it's nice to know that those highs were visited at one time, and they probably will get there again with the next run of enthusiasm or the next market cycle, or maybe just slowly over time. Um, so if you can't go for the first print 9.8, which currently is pulling back a little bit, just at like, $400 or $500 off of its highs, maybe an opportunity, maybe you wait it out. But if you can't go for the first print, definitely the second print. And 9.8 is the way to invest in that book. I mean, not the snobby side of me speaking, because the 9.6s will appreciate as well, especially in the first print. But if you're just talking about investment grade and if you can swing it, you want to go 9.8. You just definitely want to. You don't have to. all of those books are going to appreciate, but if you can, you want to go 9.8. So ideal is first print 9.8. Second, but still really strong, is second print 9.8. The second print 9.6, super affordable. We're talking like $300. And if that's your entry into that book, because that's what makes most sense for your life, just go for it. That's a great pickup. Personally, I think that's a great pickup. And that's it. And then obviously we do have the, what are we calling it? The second print variant. And
second print variant. That's right.
yeah, and that's not really a part of your question here. Let's just talk about the first two. Well, yeah, there's my answer. I like the second print over the second print variant, but the second print variant has been appreciating decently. I'm into it, but yeah, I hope that was helpful, Viking Sword.
No, it's good. I don't know if you know, but I sent my Miles Morales first appearances to CGC for the Mark Bagley remark and Mark Bagley signatures. I had one book that already had a Clayton Crane remark and Clayton Crane signature, and that's the book that I had the remark added onto it. And I also had CGC clean and press the books, and in hopes that I would get the best possible grade. And the grades just popped. The 9.6 that had the remark stayed a 9.6, but when they made the label, they didn't put on there that it had a remark and a signature from Clayton Crane. And then the other book dropped a point from 9.4 to a 9.2, and they forgot to put the Clayton Crane signature on that comment as well. So both books are already in the mail, so we have to receive them and then send them right on back to CGC to be corrected.
I'm sorry, man. Dang it, dude.
Yeah.
I always try to take CGC's side, but now we're having submission after submission where they're making mistakes. So there's no arguing. CGC is slipping big time these days.
Yeah.
No question.
I'm going to open them up. I'll share them with you. Hopefully it'll work out where I can do it on the channel and show you the error, and then I'm gonna send it back.
Yeah. So wait, I want to recap again. The one that dropped, you actually had them press it?
Clean and I had them press it. Maybe not clean it because I had signatures, but
and
yes,
the price dropped. I mean, the point in the grade drop.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I can't wait to see it when it gets back. I'm requesting that you text me super detailed images of the book. I really want to see what they consider that book to be. 9.2, you said it fell to, right?
Fell to a 9.2. The dreaded 9.2.
I definitely want to see it. Sydney says Manu needs to see my comics. Justin, I would love to. Sydney,
they're pretty good.
Another
man.
question. I can't wait. Manu, a Marvel guy says, Kent says, Manu, do they still make new newsstand comics? I've looked around and never seen them. Do I need the physical comic shop? Well, a physical comic shop would not have newsstands, right? Because newsstands are distributed at newsstands at other sorts of retail locations. The direct distribution was for comic shops. But regardless, Marvel
would Books
stopped
a
in
Million be
2012.
considered a newsstand copy?
Say it again.
Would Books a Million be considered a newsstand copy?
What's Books a Million?
Books a Million? What's your version of Books a Million?
Barnes and Nobles?
Barnes and Nobles, yes.
Yeah. Those are newsstand copies. Yep. Because they're in the magazine rack.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, those are newsstand copies. Barnes and Nobles, Borders, those kinds of bookstores were a lot of and you know what we used to do? We used to go there, we used to have our little muffin or a little bagel, sit there and flip through them and then put them back on the rack.
Put them right back, yep. Please
So
don't read the comics.
yeah, but Marvel stopped in 2012 and DC carried on newsstand until 2017. So if you're in search of a certain newsstand for a book, just be aware of whether it was produced for Marvel after 2012, because then you're looking for something that doesn't exist, and for DC after 2017. But those are pretty recent newsstands. Like Ultimate Fallout 4 is a 2011 release, and that newsstand is the newsstand grail. We talk about it all the time. Somebody put an 8.0 or an 8.5, a low grade. I mean, sorry, that's not a low grade. I am such a snob. Somebody put, a grade that we don't normally talk about for a modern book on eBay, and I think they're asking 20 grand for the 8.0 newsstand.
Oh, wow. 20 grand. Yeah. That's all?
A little rich.
Get 2 green PMGs for that.
Oh, my goodness. Now's the time to buy the PMGs if the prices are coming down. I might get me my first PMG.
Who knows? I don't, I don't know. I don't know where things are going to go in the future, but those are still some strong prices. That's for sure.
Sydney says 9.8 always on books after 1980.
Ooh,
Look, Sydney, I like.
1980.
Well, I mean, I like to adhere to that too, even from the 80s. Some books obviously are huge, and it's just hard to buy a 9.8, and it's impossible to find one. So you go,
Yeah.
9.6. I mean, that's stretching it pretty far back, 1980s. But I kind of like to say that too. But it's definitely anything after the 1990s, you want to go 9.8 if possible, if it's reasonable. There's plenty of books
Mhm.
that are not reasonable to go for only the 9.8, and it's not necessarily necessary to go only 9.8. I do want a
Charles,
green PMG.
yeah, Charles, why don't you sell them one of yours at today's prices?
Green is out of 10, right?
Yeah.
Boy, I'm learning. You see that? I'm learning. It only took me 8 episodes. I'm
Keith,
learning
Miss
about
Marvel
these.
tonight? No. Is it tomorrow night or tonight? Thought it was tomorrow night.
CGC is messing up. Just watch one of the other big comic YouTubers say they are done. I haven't been, I'm not done yet, but I wonder who that was, and I wonder what the mistake was that they made. I mean, I've been getting a
Well,
lot
I'm
of
sure it's not
CGC
one
mistakes.
mistake.
No, that's the thing. It's like it used to be out of 15 books, you get two things that you might have to deal with them about. But now, like I'm sending these specialty submissions, small submissions,
Mhm.
one book, two books, and these books are being submitted at walkthrough where you're paying $200 to get a grade, after the 150 grading cost plus shipping and things of that nature and
Mhm.
the insurance, you're paying $200 to get a grade, and then the book comes back with the wrong label or it's undergraded. Like for that black and white Spawn one, I'm $400 in grading costs. I finally got my 9.8, and it was well
Right.
worth it because of the price that I'm into that book for, and the difference between a 9.6 and a 9.8 was
Mhm.
$2,000. So spending an extra 200 to get another 2,000 of value obviously made sense. But the thing is, I don't know if it's necessarily supposed to happen that way.
Right. Well, I mean, with these books, I've got what I pay for the books, which I can't remember exactly to be honest with you. But then I sent them to get remarked and signed by Clayton Crane and graded, and then I had to send them again to get remarked and signed and pressed. So I'm gonna, you know, for them to be dropping grades while they're
Oh,
there and be mislabeled, it likely means they mishandled the book.
they
You
do
know,
mishandle books. I'm telling you, they mishandle books. I've had books damaged by them. Yo, I've
Mhm.
had so much, what's the word? Negligence.
Mhm.
I've had books come back where the inner encapsulation, the book was closed in the encapsulation. Like, I mean, like the edge of the book was closed into the plastic.
Mhm. There's no
It
coming
had
back from
one
that.
job
Yeah. Protect the book. Yeah.
to protect the book.
Miss
Ah,
Marvel looks like an FX kids show, not excited. I'm
oh,
gonna
really?
watch it, but I'm a sucker.
Justin, you watch everything. I don't know
No,
where you
that
find
is
the
not
time.
true.
I don't know where
Oh,
you find the time, Justin.
well, you get up early and you stay up late.
Yeah. Well, there's the solution. I will say, I finally spent a good amount of time watching the Jurassic Park trailers, and boy, am I excited.
I'm going to that Thursday night.
Oh, Thursday at midnight. Is that how it works?
Well, I think our showings start a little after lunch on Thursday. I'm going at a
Really?
6 o'clock showing. Wife's already got the ticket.
Very cool.
She
You're gonna
loves,
see it a week or two before me, so just tell me how you love it. I cannot wait, but I'm gonna go later.
you know,
Um,
Jurassic Park, Jurassic Park and Aladdin were like the first two big movies for me as a kid on the theater screen,
really?
like on the screen.
Yeah,
And then
very cool.
I put Home Alone up there too.
Oh, love Home Alone.
Yeah.
My goodness.
And we didn't
I
go to the
have an
movies
unopened
very
box of
often.
Home Alone cards.
Do you really?
I don't know why. I'm Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, sealed pack. I'm like, why do I
Hey,
have this?
Keith says it's getting good reviews. I might have to watch it before I watch Kenobi.
Hmm.
Just seen a giant size X Men one sell for 48,000. If someone has one for me at 20, I'm a buyer.
I can't even find a raw. Well, actually, there's no looking for a 9.8 candidate of that book raw is like crazy, but it's fun thing to look for. Um,
Sleep when
48
you
seems
can.
what, maybe only like 10,000 off of its high. That's a pretty good sale. That's a really
Mhm.
strong sale, right? trying to keep up with these here.
Yeah.
Somebody asked about CBCS, I think. Oh no, this
Yeah.
is an interesting one. Oh, we'll get to that. Ranger said, remember CGC hired 25 to 35 graders last September, right? And like on the surface, that sounds like a great thing. That's a terrible thing because you got a bunch of people that don't have any experience messing with our books now. Like they're learning on our books.
That's true. And I think when you're new, you're like, you're probably like, I've never seen a perfect book.
Yeah.
No one
It's a
grades
lot
like
going
me.
on. Yeah, right. Exactly. Viking Sword, you're very welcome. And someone asked about the underdog CBCS. They are the underdog, and maybe they're going to start doing some good things. I think we talked a little bit about how the lead grader there and the original founder of CBCS did step away from CBCS a few weeks ago, and they're
Mhm.
now the head of consignment at
Heritage? No.
no Comic Link, not Comic Link, the big My Comic Shop.
Oh, I like my comic shop.
Yeah, My Comic Shop, big operation, big consignment shop, and they're over there now. So no, we don't quite know, why he split. His name is Steve Borak, and we don't know why he split from CBCS, but usually don't leave for good reasons. So something went wrong.
Yeah, that's true. Didn't feel appreciated. That's typically what it is.
Yeah, probably, probably. I
Overworked and
really like Steve
underappreciated.
too. I like that when you catch him in an interview, he's so him. He's so uniquely him. You can't compare him to anybody, and he's got this odd like distasteful charisma. It's almost like, wait, are you an arrogant jerk? No, I like
Nope.
you actually. It's like, I like Steve.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's good.
Ranger got a question about Sandman 9.9.
Oh, wow. 9.9. Wait, $160? Which Sandman 9.9? We're not talking about one of the expensive Sandman books,
It
then.
can't be. God, must be a
No.
newer book.
Ranger, I don't have a well-informed enough answer for you. I don't know anything about any of those recent books, but a 9.9. Okay, I'm going to look it up on eBay for you real quick, and I just want to know if it's one of those books that is readily available at a 9.9 because of how it's manufactured.
You do that, and then I'm going to respond to Force Moon Collectibles.
Okay.
Kenobi yet for Justin or Manu? I can answer for Manu. The answer is no.
Not yet, sorry.
You have a TV in your house?
I do. It hasn't been turned on in 2 years. I actually couldn't tell you where it is. There's one TV in this house, and I can't for sure tell you where it is, but it's in here.
Makes sense. Kenobi, I've watched all 3 episodes multiple times. And part of that is because I fell asleep. That's one of the reasons I've watched them multiple times. The other part is just for me to make sure I didn't miss something. And I'm not there yet on this series. Thought I was going to get there in episode 3, and then it didn't quite happen for me. But I'm holding out hope for the last, I think, 2 episodes to see how it pans out.
You can go ahead and answer some more. My eBay website is being weird.
Well, Hulk Collector says he's never read Sandman. The early stuff is like regarded as maybe the best comic run ever in terms of like reading.
Yeah, and like really pricey and high grade, which is the only reason I know anything about it, because that's kind of cool to me.
I mean, I guess it would be classified a horror book, but it doesn't feel like quite like a horror book to me.
I want to
Kent, actually, it's not Leia that's killing it for me. What they're doing with her in a couple of scenes, like where she's outrunning adults, that's not doing it for me. But definitely some other stuff. Kenobi's good. Mandalorian's hard to top. Stop. Come on, Charles. I mean, it's okay, but it should be absolutely freaking fantastic. And I wonder if it's just because I've been thinking about this with Kenobi. When I watched episode 1, 2, and 3, the prequels, I loved them as a kid. And, people who were adults whenever the original Star Wars came out, or teenagers when the original Star Wars came out, episode 4, 5, and 6, they hated the prequels. And now the prequels are held in high regard. And people who like the prequels are not enjoying some of the new stuff. And so it's like there's a cycle. and 15, 20 years down the road, what's happening, with the Mandalorian and Boba Fett and Kenobi and the rise of the Resistance, like that might be held in high regard at that point in time. I don't know, but it's just not quite bringing the kind of episodes 4, 5, and 6 and the prequels. It's not really living up to that standard of storytelling for me. Now, The Mandalorian was a bit of an exception for that. Mandalorian was fantastic, and the 2 Mandalorian episodes inside of Boba Fett were also fantastic.
To answer the question about the CBCS 9.9, I'm just going to say for that price, that's reasonable for any 9.9. CBCS, CGC, doesn't matter. $160 for a 9.9 is reasonable, right? But that's using my logic, and my logic is not always super practical, because for me personally, if I ever see any graded book that's a 9.8 for like $60 or $70, I'm kind of like, I don't care what the book is, it's worth 60 or 70 bucks, right? Because that's the cost of time and getting it done. So, and 160 bucks for anything that's a 9.9 just kind of feels like, why not? Because how much lower could it be? It's a 9.9.
Yeah. It's almost the price of the book plus grading and shipping.
Yeah, that's and for more practical people, they might not do that kind of math, but for me, that math makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So Keith says, agree, Justin. Almost all new Star Wars gets crapped on and later loved, it feels like. I agree. And then 4 says, I love all the Star Wars movies. They're all part of one story, not meant to be considered in isolation. Oh, I'm with you. I know that part. It's definitely, but the way it's being directed and the way like the scenes are being handled and the characters are being handled is different. That's the part I'm focusing on. I've actually with Kenobi like sat down in my own thought and kind of played out the way the script was. Like I could see why somebody would look at that script and go, okay, this is going to really work. But the way it's being executed is a little bit of a miss for me. Kent says Jar Jar equals Spider-Man. That's not true.
You just offended Justin.
Yeah. I'm not even trying to do my Jar Jar Binks my Jar Jar Binks voice here. So Logan's got a question for you, 9.9. I have a large portion of my father's comic collection and my own to send to CGC now. After what's been happening, would you still send a large submission to CGC or opt for CBCS?
Since he's asking my personal opinion, I still submit to CGC, and I'm not going to stop, and I'm getting ready to send about 30 books to them. So, yep.
There's your answer.
There's my answer, right? I personally am not ready to start grading with CBCS yet, because when I personally grade and they come back for my PC or even books that I want to sell, but when I'm grading them, I want them to be in a CGC case. And I have a history with CGC and I deal with CGC, and they even take care of the problems. There's just more problems recently than I've been used to, but that's all right with me still, because I know they're working through it. I just have not converted to being I'm not a member of CBCS. So yeah, I've never graded with CBCS and I'm not going to start yet. I would still encourage and say, let's continue to give CGC a shot, but let's be completely prepared to have to send some books out of a multi-book submission back. But let's also just be aware. Manu is all in on CGC. He should be. I am. But let's just be aware that even if there are problems, CGC will resolve the issues. The real risks are in the things that are less likely to happen but still do happen, such as books being damaged in transport within the case. It might not have been damaged while they were at CGC. They might have graded it accurately. They might have put the correct label on it. Everything could have been great, but then, it got dropped in front of your door rather than placed in front of your door or whatever. It took the perfect bump. The book went flying into the corner of the inner encapsulation, and now you have damage within the case. Now, that is something that CGC will attempt to help you out with, but they won't inaccurately grade a book for you if they're being put under the pressure to do so. Meaning, it was a 9.8. It came to you. It caught a big dent in shipping, a big bend in the corner in shipping, and now it's a 9.6. I'm actually dealing with this with CGC right now, and it might not go in my way, and it might not end up great for me. And so basically, CGC is working with me saying, listen, we'll do a complimentary press for you. We'll send you a label. You send us the book. We'll press the book. We'll try to get it back to a 9.8. But even though in our case it got damaged, and our case is supposed to be designed to keep books from getting damaged, but even though it got damaged in our case, if we can't press it back to a 9.8, all we can do is apologize, and you're going to have the 9.6. But the representative did say, we'll see what we might be able to do after that. There have been situations where CGC has ruined a book and they've compensated for the loss in value. Now, I'm assuming that's not the easiest thing to get done, and it definitely depends on how persistent and patient and probably polite you are as an individual who's angry dealing with them. But there are things that can be done. The point is, it's a waste of time, it's a waste of energy, and we shouldn't have to do that. But it is essentially the cost of dealing with CGC currently. And for some reason, I'm still more comfortable doing that than I am submitting to CBCS. I don't want to sell a bunch. I don't want my favorite books in CBCS cases yet, and I don't want to be selling a bunch of CBCS books yet. I'm
Right.
not there. Their brand does not appeal to me in that way.
Totally with you.
Cool.
Cardboard After Dark says, Spidey, do you own any Star Wars comics? And the answer would be yes, quite a few actually. I'm looking at some 9.8s. I've got Star Wars 1, 2, both graded, which is first appearance in comics for Luke and for Obi-Wan. I've got a ton of High Republic books, a ton of those graded. And there's a question here or a statement here about High Republic. Wait till they come out with the High Republic series. The Star Wars saga is watered down, in my opinion. And that is mostly a speculation for me, just saying, let's see what happens. It's a big push that Disney seems to have for the High Republic, and it may, have a bright future in the future. So I grabbed a few of those books.
Very cool.
Four says, before I forget, what's up with the hundreds of 2015 Marvel Avengers archive comic cuts now on eBay? They look cheap and no one wants them. Is there something we don't know all about them? Well, it's not that no one wants them. There's a lot of them. I've opened up one or two of those boxes, and the comic cuts are numbered, and they're like numbered to 50 and 100 and 150. It's just a bunch of them. I would pay attention to your favorite characters that might be in those Avengers run and what books those were, and search out for those panels and be very specific about getting a panel that goes with an important book, event, first appearance, that kind of thing. But otherwise, there's a lot of them, and I think that's the issue.
Mm. Yabo Collectibles. Yabo Collectibles said CGC for Golden Age 2. And man, I love being a guy with the answers. I've never graded a Golden Age book. I mean, I am assuming I would go CGC, but that's the extent of my answer. Is there some reason to prefer CBCS over CGC for Golden Age? No, I don't think so. I think my same answer would apply.
I tell you what, every time I see that record-breaking comic book sale, it appears to be in the CGC slab.
Oh yeah,
regardless
CGC.
of error.
And Logan, just to finish that, he said just won't have them cleaned and pressed for sure. He was just agreeing with what we were saying about CGC, and he said just won't have them cleaned and pressed while there's new staff there. If you can avoid CGC cleaning, if you can avoid CGC pressing your books, avoid it, because the turnaround time for pressing is ridiculous. We have no idea how much care is going into it. Definitely have your books pressed by whomever you trust, whomever you have a relationship with, prior to going to CGC. CGC should be used for encapsulation.
Yeah. Absolutely. I agree. It's a question from David. I have a couple of dozen ultra modern books, Vampirilla 2019 through 2021. I'd like to send for a 25 book 9.9, 9.8 pre-screen. Should I pay to press and clean them?
Oh, that's no, have it done before. Just have it done before, unless you don't want them to get the love that they might be able to get. It's up to you. Because the thing about doing the pre-screen, if you send it for a pre-screen and you have them press the books, if they don't make the pre-screen, you get the rejection fee, you get them back. You always have the opportunity to look them over yourself and say, you know what, my guy can do a better job. I'm going to send it to my presser, and have your second run that way, and just kind of lose some of that time and a little bit of that money. But ultimately, the answer, that was David, right? Yeah, that was David.
Correct.
Ultimately, David, I firmly believe you should be pressing with somebody else and then submitting to CGC. And like the submission that I'm going to have going out soon is a pre-screen as well. And I'm going to have everything pressed prior to going out. Some of them are already pressed, and many of them still need to be. But I don't want those books sitting around at CCS. I just don't want that to happen.
Yeah. Sydney, have a good night. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight.
Bye,
Appreciate
Sydney.
you,
What a
guys.
pleasure. Thank you so
He
much.
said earlier, he was like, you don't need to sleep. Like, you sleep when you
Oh, yeah.
die. Now he's got to go sleep.
Have a wonderful night,
Oliver
brother.
Van basically says that the best slab to put a comic book in has not been created yet.
1,000,000%. Where did he say that? That's the smartest thing anyone has ever said. Yes. Oh,
The ultimate
yeah.
best ever made slab is not here yet. It will be vented to release the gases that build up from the CPR products used on comics, or humidity that will build up over 4 seasons. Interesting.
You said it, and it won't damage the book if it falls. Like it hasn't been created yet. Maybe it's not possible to create the perfect one, but I agree with that sentiment completely, Oliver. Absolutely.
Ken, I'm with you. I hope that when you get that Jim Lee sign signature, that it doesn't drop either, because it's already a 9.8.
Oh, I'm praying my 9.8 X-Men 11 book I sent signed doesn't go down in grade. I hope it doesn't either. Those are sometimes it happens, and unfortunately, we just heard a story from Justin that happened. It's hitting really close to home because it's happening to us. But chances are it won't happen. Chances are your 9.8 is going to maintain a 9.8, and that's what we're hoping for.
Yeah. 9.9, does it add any value to a comic if it's an advertisement supplement? On a comic book Hulk, they rescued the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. At 60 cents of value that came out of Tulsa World.
What is the question? Does it add any value to a comic if it's an advertisement supplement? Meaning if it's promotional material?
Yeah, I think it's more of a promotional comic that was put
Promo
out
stuff is
during.
dope.
Yeah.
It just kind of confused me where it said add any value. I thought maybe it was a comic book with some other insert or something.
I think he's saying you can
Promos.
go on eBay and buy that advertisement at 60 cents. But if he were to get one at 9.9, like what would that do for the value?
It would increase it. It would increase it. Dope, rare promotional stuff that people do not consider slabbing all the time have very low census numbers because no one thinks of doing it. And when you put one of them on the census as a 9.8, boom, something that you could have bought for $10 on eBay out of someone's, essentially digital garage sale is now between $200 and $500 because it doesn't exist, and somebody's going to think it's cool. I've done it, and I sell stuff like that, and I buy stuff like that. I've been the only person to buy something that someone would think isn't worth anything because I thought it was cool. And promotional materials, advertisement stuff, that's that kind of thing. Sometimes it's not easy to sell. Sometimes you can't find your buyer. Sometimes it's just really cool to have it slabbed and being only 1 or 2 or 3 on the census. But yeah, of course, it adds real value. And that's pretty much the only way to sell something like that for hundreds of dollars if it can readily be had for $5 or $10 otherwise.
Kent says it sounds just like what happened with the Miss Marvel 90MU that we started the show with. 60-cent card that sold for $1,800 because it.
Oh yeah, that's exactly that's the logic. That's the logic. I have some. There's something. It's not out. I don't have it available right now. I have some stuff like that. It's so cool to me. I
Oliver
love
says
things like that.
CGC cases should be. Viking says CGC cases should be 1 inch shorter to make it easier to mail.
That would make it fit into some of our the medium flat rate priority box. Everybody loves to put CGC slabs, any slab, into a medium flat rate box, and it fits if you don't pack the way I pack. Because the amount of bubble wrap that I use, it doesn't fit. And we used to do this thing in the comic book shipping community where there was a USPS box that was called a 1095, and you can order it for free from the USPS supply store online. All their supplies are free. And then there was another box called a 1092. I think those are the numbers. And we used to put the 1092, one slab in it, wrap it up a lot with bubble wrap. The top would kind of stay open, but the 1092 would then go into the 1095 with an additional layer of bubble wrap to fill the gap, and that would close. And it would be dual boxed, and it would go in at 1095. Now, it wouldn't be the flat rate of what used to be $15 and now is 16 something. It would typically ship anywhere within the United States for between 16 and 25 bucks, and that was a great way to do it. But USPS must have caught on, and they just caught on about 8-9 months ago. The reason I say that is because the new 1095s and 1092s are a little bit different. Where the 1095, they reduced it by half an inch in width, or like a quarter of an inch. And the 1092, they reduced it by slightly less. So the 1092 no longer fits in the 1095. USPS found out that we're wasting all of their materials, double boxing everything for free. And so now what I do is I use the new 1095 with lots of bubble wrap, and that's my favorite way to single box a book. I do not use the medium flat rates because I'm uncomfortable with the bulge that's created at the top the way I package. But most people still use that. And if a book's really expensive, I use a completely different box that's much larger than the book, and I pack it until I feel comfortable.
Got you. Got you. Well, that's good packing advice. He says UltiPro makes a comic book top loader that works just fine.
They do make top loaders, indeed.
Okay, friends, thanks for the entertainment. Got to go to bed so I can watch Kenobi. And I'm actually not far behind them. I've got to get to bed too. Awesome information, 9.9. Thanks for the live stream and the chat. Justin, love your content. Well, thank you, man. Missed last
Thank
Saturday
you,
morning, but
Brian.
watching it next. Well, I hope you enjoy it. We had fun hanging out with Bill in the last Saturday morning Marvel
And
card
and
show.
Justin might be opening a pack of 96 Marvel masterpieces on Saturday, so I think we
Next
should all be
Saturday.
there for that.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's going to happen. It's in the mail. It says it'll be here by the 9th, which is Friday. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Want to get that open. Got a couple other things. Not sure what else we might open, but I got a couple other things we might look at. So it'll be fun. And then the following Saturday, I'm driving to Shreveport, Louisiana, to hang out with Michael, the guy who did the the Marvel card tour of his house, like the MTV Cribs, the Marvel Cribs tour.
Oh my
And
gosh.
we're gonna open up. We got a lot of fun boxes to open up, and one of them is the 1996 Flair Ultra Wolverine set, or Flair Ultra X-Men set of Wolverine. And if you haven't seen that set, it's on par with 1996 Marvel masterpieces, in my opinion. We're gonna open that box, so really excited.
Are we logging off? Are you winding down to a goodbye right now?
Yes, I'm we gotta log off. I'm fading fast. The Sprite didn't have caffeine in it like I thought it would.
Yeah, okay. All right, I'm gonna answer one more Logan's questions, then we're gonna go. It's gonna be quick.
Okay.
Logan, you said, are they still honoring reslabs of slabs that aren't slabbed well that have problems? No, they're not. I mean, if it has if it's crazy amounts of Newton rings, I won't get into what that is. We'll talk about that later. Like the oil spill look on the book where the two plastics from the inner encapsulation and the outer well meet. If there's a crazy amount, maybe, but basically, no. They're just going to be like, it's been a long time. Even if you get a book back, you want to act on a reslab quickly if you want them to take care of it. We should not be operating under the impression that they're going to honor anything. They've got too much stuff going on.
Yeah, good advice. Sin City, have a great night. Logan is headed out. Yeah.
Take care, everyone. This was fun. I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you.
Good. Swish Rips came in late, but always enjoying hearing from the brain trust of Marvel. I mean, I don't think of us as brain trust, but we sure like to share anything that is in our brain for you guys and gals. That hope that it is useful for you.
Yeah, and all of us together, we got some knowledge. All of us together.
Yeah, together we have the mind. There we go.
Yeah,
not anybody individually. Thank you for being so active and live in the chats tonight. It was awesome. Made the 2 hours just go by like that, even though Norin left us out to dry tonight.
Hey, Justin, when Norin comes in, you already know I am going to give him so much
I think
Flack is the word.
flack is a good word. I think it may be because we didn't put his floating head on the thumbnail. But it would take up the whole thumbnail if we put his head on there.
Oh, we've already started giving Norin a hard time. I like it. No,
Exactly.
Norin should have been here for that 96 masterpieces conversation. So I'm going to probably open that one up again. I just want to pick his brain a little bit and see what he's thinking. And I don't know how to drop anything, so it'll still be fresh on my mind next week.
You never let it go.
I don't know how. I need a real answer before I let anything go.
All right. Well, everybody, again, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you don't mind, hit that like button on the way out the door. If you like this kind of content, you like getting to see my friend Manu 9.9 on the channel every Tuesday night, get to hear Marvel content, Marvel card content specifically, hit the subscribe button. Really do appreciate it. We will be giving away one of the HasLab Sentinels here when we reach 3,000, but it'll be one new minty in a box. So when we reach 3,000,
I'm gonna give away something too when it hits. Oh no, I don't want to ruin. I don't want to.
No, but yeah, we build the suspense.
All right, 2 things are getting given away at 3,000, and mine's gonna be whatever I choose for it to be. I don't know, but I'm gonna give something away at 3,000 too. Let's get some subscribers in here, please. You gotta
be subscribed to be entered to win. So, but anyway, thank you guys. Really enjoyed it. Manu, thank you. Really appreciate you, man. Love every Tuesday night. It's a lot of fun for me.
I look forward to it every Tuesday. Amazing.
Yeah. Awesome. Everybody have a great week. See you Saturday. And I hope you all have a marvelous day.